count the days since you've been gone. I go out and make believe you won't be gone too long. Run up and catch the bus, almost miss it again. A window seat and I watch the world rolling by. It only takes a moment for the show to begin. A big dog is walking the man, got a big bag to fill. And shot stars on the corner, drinking a gin. Not a worry in the world until she gets to the end. Always gave your best, you did. Haven't smoked in years, but I still want a cigarette. All the things and all the things we did. Park bench, like I say, the first time we got lit. It only takes a moment for the show to begin. Open up the curtains and the two of us fell in. Woke up at the bus stop, let more people in. I wish that we could get back to there again. Yeah. Sometimes when I think about us, looking at the photograph, tell you I don't wanna get you out of my head. I wish that I could bring you back. You know, I want you back. Wake up and count the days since you've been gone. I go out and make believe you won't be gone too long. I run up and catch the bus, almost miss it again. The window seat and I watch the whole world rolling by. Sometimes when I think about us, we're looking in the photograph. If I could only bring you out of my head, I wish that I could get you back. I feel like my head's on fire. I feel like I'm frozen. Yes, I'm taking the long way. Brother, you took a shortcut. Oh, I feel like I'm drowning. My insides are coming on. I'm taking the long way. Yeah, you took a shortcut.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Wednesday night. Dispensary Guy Live.
I feel like my head's
What's up, everybody? How we doing? I believe that's the first time we're going to come in with sound rolling. How's everybody doing? Now, light is awful tonight. Bear with me, folks. You can see we did some studio work. Hello, everybody. Should I do like spooky? Ooh. Now, let's move it back here. Hold on. How's everybody doing? What's going on? Welcome. Wednesday night, Dispensary Guy live. How is everyone doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. The chat's up. Everyone's there. Let's go over here. Oh, my God. I didn't even hit go live on Instagram. Hold on. Instagram missed the whole open. Wow. Should we replay the whole thing? Nah, I'm kidding. We're not going to do that. Hi. Welcome, Instagram. You just popped in live there. We look awful tonight. I'm sorry about that. So, how's everybody doing? I'm going to adjust some stuff. We're going to play some clips and stuff like that. How's everybody doing? Welcome. Welcome. I see everybody hanging out over there. Welcome. How's everybody doing? Hold on one second. We're going to work this right out here. This is live. Live as gets. Boom. How we doing? You want the best, right? There we go. How's the microphone sound? New mic tonight. We picked up a new microphone. We're trying our best to not have dead air and stuff like that. That's not awful, huh? We're a little side shadow there, but what are we going to do? We put in new lights and everything else. I'm not going to mess with it too much. Sugats, what's going on, everybody? How are we doing? I got a lot to cover and everything else. ButaCake. Hey, everybody, how we doing? I'm sorry you guys all missed the lead in because I forgot to hit go live. You know what I mean? It's good. What are we going to do about that? Nothing. We're going to go with it anyway. So it's awesome. The grind. What are we? The grinder. Yeah, lighting is awful, huh? It's crazy. He whacked it for the show. Way to go. Way to go. He's talking about the grinder, folks. He is not talking about the other thing. The light is a little dicey tonight, huh, Matt? What are we going to do about that? There we go. It's a work in progress, everybody. You heard? I saw everybody today. We're going to play some clips. All right. It's going to be a heavy show tonight. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot going on. You saw us. We were in how we doing? Lefty Pryor. We are from New Jersey. How we doing? Lefty, what's going on? We know you, Lefty. Come on, buddy. How you doing? What is up? Smoking Cats, how we doing? Connor, how we doing? We've got the new big microphone and everything. We're doing it. Got to whack it. Has everybody seen that Wak-It? You've been seeing it all over lately. They are slamming it hard all over the social media. I don't know if they're listening to us or the algorithm is hearing what we're saying, or you know what I mean? How they say Siri's always listening, one of those deals. You know what I mean? But it's great. Before we yeah. So it's awesome. We were at the CRC today. It was awesome. Great, Sir Michael. You're ready to go, huh? I see you. I follow you on your little stories. He does some positive stuff and everything else. Hates us. You know, that's a strong word, right? Hate is a strong word. We'd like to not say that. I didn't even get a chance to pour my coffee. We were busy today. We were up at the CRC meeting. First thing, bright and shiny and early. I mean, you know what it is. Not bright and shiny and early, but it is what it is. About 11 o'clock, we slid in there. They had their executive meeting, and then they came out and they did their thing. They approved their stuff. I'm not going to go into that so much. Why don't you go over, you check out somebody like Hedy. Okay, you go check out what they wrote about that and everything else. Or you go and you check out the YouTube channel with a CRC here. I'll bring this up here while we're sitting here. Remember, like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up down bottom. YouTube, Instagram, all that good stuff and everything else. The lighting, we tried new track lighting. That's why the lighting is a little bit different in the studio. It's not too bad. I was told that it needs to be indirect, fourth wall, whatever. But yeah, so we're at the CRC meeting today. I want to play a couple of clips from the meeting this morning. It's this afternoon and everything else. But before we get into that, let's go with real quick. We're going to do that. What I was saying about Hedy was go over to HeadyNJ. He's already got it up on the website, the approvals and everything else. I'm not going to bog down the stream with everything else. But thank you to Hedy for, like I said, we work together on some stuff, and he works with everybody. Dan over there. And I told you I was up at Dank a couple of weeks ago, and I was able to interview Chris Caruso from Dank Poet. And Dan wrote an article. he linked up the interview that I did, and I put it up. And the reason why I didn't put it up is because the audio is so awful. So that's why I said you're going to see I'm working with WJ Media to try to bring the channel forward, because I can't do it all myself. I can't run the camera and do the interview. So I hope you watch the interview, take away from the interview, not the sound, but the quality of what came out of it, and look at it, watch it. Go read the article that Hetty had. He talked about Dank Poet. He talked about Cannabis Clubhouse. And he did that, but I wanted to thank him for that. He linked in the article. It's up on the interview is up on the YouTube channel. I don't know if you're paying attention. The YouTube channel's been getting hammered pretty hard. It's looking pretty nice. All new stuff from WJ Media and myself are going through the channel. They are helping me out greatly. You're going to see new listings and thumbnails and everything else. It's fantastic there. So before we get into the meeting, while we move into the meeting, I want to talk about the things that happened. A quick little news here, and then we'll talk about the meeting while everybody's popping on. MonteVerde Dispensary, you saw something on the APP. I want to, that's the Asbury Park Press for around here for you local people. But you're going to see a little article there about their medical hours in the CRC and everything else. And it's funny how it happens, because I went to the CRC to specifically speak on that and everything else. And they broke an article this morning about, I guess, their medical hours not being extra. As you know, in the state of New Jersey, for medical patients, one of the few things we still have is the hours available to only a medical patient. Through the miscommunications and everything else, I don't think it was deliberate or anything else. The CRC took full responsibility. They did not have their hours all the way open. They were like short 2 hours during the day. So they added that in. Everything's fine. No big deal. But I wanted to say, as you know, we try to be ahead of everything else. Somebody mentioned it. Like I said, the Asbury Park Press mentioned it. I wanted to mention it because obviously everybody else is going to start picking it up. So check that out. Xavier, what's going on over there? I see. I'm sorry. Neptune Garden, what's going on? Lefty, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, everybody. CRC doesn't hate us, dude. The what you call it? The Senate hates us, not the CRC. Don't get it twisted. But we got news on that anyway. But so I wanted to shout on that on MonteVerde. If you see something coming up along on the news or anything else about whatever, that's what I got out of the article. I didn't get a chance to stick my head in because, like I said, I wanted to be here for all you and be able to come home, pull the videos off the YouTube site. So to be able to speak at the meeting and then come home and do it, you'll see. Just let me show you what I got going. You'll appreciate why I didn't get my head in to actually speak to them today. But we will get in there the next day or two and we'll talk to them. But you'll see. So we got Senate the reviews and everything they're talking about. It's a guy named Scuderi. Ballpark. We got a couple of new people on the thing here. I don't really want to talk about the HomeGrow. Like, I know all about it. Where's my thing? I got the things here. Hold on. While we're talking about HomeGrow and everything else, I got you. Join the fight for HomeGrow. Legislation there. Make your voice heard. You can click this here. They've done it before. So while you're here, you can actually screen grab that and it'll work for you. But that the CRC doesn't handle grow. They don't handle it. They don't write the regulations or anything like that. So while we, go there and we talk about it, it's a platform to talk about HomeGrow and everything else. But the point we do is when they do the rallies on the State House. When I see Lefty over there, they do the rallies on the State House for HomeGrow. They put a plan out or something like that, and they hammer Scuderi and all that about HomeGrow, which was originally written into the Jake Honig Act. So that's how that's going. So they don't hate us or anything like that. Jersey Meds, what's up? So Jersey Meds opened up this week. We didn't get a chance to get down there, but Friday, everybody and their mother was down there. But we can't get too off track. Everybody just hang in. We're just going to kind of run through it here. I got a couple clips we need to play and everything else. So we went to the meeting. We listened. They had their executive session. Like I said, I'm not going to bog you down with all those details and everything else. But I do want to play a couple of clips. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna play my clip from when I spoke, because I told you, if you ever didn't find me in this chair broadcasting the CRC meeting on a Wednesday at 11 a.m., there was a reason for it, because I felt there was enough to be said at the meeting that it was important that I go to the meeting, that I could affect better change at the meeting. And when I talk about affecting change today, somebody actually genuinely affect change. It happened in front of everybody's eyes. It was an amazing thing. It had its, I'm getting goosebumps because of what happened, but let's get into it. We're going to start a little heavy, and then we'll get really, really nice and sweet and caring. But like I said, sometimes we got to talk about the CRC, and we got to talk about everything else that's going on. So I want you to hear from one of the friends of the show, the other side dispensary. You know, they run the Coffee and Cannabis podcast over on YouTube. Okay. Dr. Alyza Brevard-Rodriguez was there to speak, the CEO of the other side dispensary. And I want you to hear what she had to say. So I clipped it out. Why don't you take a listen, and then we will talk about it when we get back. All right. This is out of order, by the way. She spoke directly after me, okay, in the meeting. So here we go. You ready? Here she is, Dr. Alyza Brevard-Rodriguez from the other side dispensary.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Brevard-Rodriguez, and I'm the founder of a future cannabis dispensary and consumption lounge called The Other Side. Yesterday, I received a personal courtesy call to be advised that I would not be awarded today, but that my comments were welcomed. I thought how ironic that the CRC had time to cross-reference their emails with the speaker list, but didn't have time to rush an already overdue application that was found to have zero discrepancies from a 10-year military veteran. You don't say. Another irony is that the state has managed to award out-of-state companies with grants, but we weren't found good enough for that either. So I can be glorified as the most diverse applicant, but apparently not good enough to be awarded a grant, a license, or receive any state assistance at this point. However, we are good enough to be a marker on your data set every month. See, throughout this painful 2-year journey, I have been glorified and heralded in the media for being a Black and Latina, LGBTQ disabled veteran operator, despite the fact that it's the only variation that's yet to be awarded. I'm a Jersey resident. I have zero involvement with any MSOs, no FSAs, no MSAs, and tremendous business acumen. I'm pretty much the exact type of candidate the CRC has described that they wanted as an operator, yet here we are. No license still. The commission claimed that the process takes 15 to 27 weeks. However, my team's timetable revealed that we are actually 82 weeks from our initial submission date and 29 weeks from our cure date, making the timeline you provided inaccurate. In the last meeting, Commissioner Barker expressed that there's a lack of in-depth data available, and since there's a sudden interest in research, as a research scientist, I figured I'd add a qualitative narrative to your numbers since they don't paint the real picture. In 2 years, my team and I have spent $150,000 in real estate holding fees, $75,000 on professional services, and that's out of the $1.1 million that we intentionally raised from only Black and brown investors, basically throwing $250,000 of their money in the garbage. As if we don't already come from families that are struggling, we're over here paying rent on empty buildings like we got it like that. And for what? Because you were ill-prepared? Understaffed? Understand that this is not just data. These are real lives. I quit my full-time job as a policy expert to pursue this process after also being medically separated from the Navy, again, after 10 years. Thinking this endeavor could be the opportunity for real wealth and life on the other side, where we thrive instead of survive. But instead, as a combat disabled veteran, this process has rattled my anxiety so badly, I may need to be my own best customer. Beyond my lived experiences, I think about the trappers who have stopped their profitable businesses to go legal, and trusting you in our communities to lead them to legitimacy. I think about the veterans risking their relationship with the federal system to be involved in this industry, and I think about the dreamers who have fought against vicious landlords and lenders trying to steal their companies. And I think about myself, seasoned entrepreneurs playing a waiting game, having a hard time making it make sense. And while I typically offer solutions, 3 minutes just isn't enough to truly hear people. So hear this. We need to be collaborative, and we need to find solutions together. Because let me tell you that this talking at your business is not conducive nor productive. So next month, when you award me, I will be present here with all of my investors. That way you can look into the eyes of the very people who have taken out home equity loans, money out of their 401ks, and given their last bit of savings to bet it all on me. Also that our kids don't experience another 400 years of strife and poverty. What a shame that I had to come up here on Women's Month and leave like this. What a shame.
Well, over on Instagram, she stuck her head in. She's over on Instagram right now, Dr. Alyza. I wanted you to see, you don't always get to see that side of it. You don't get to see that cut. I wanted you to see that 3 minutes. That's it. I didn't want to see like anything else. Just look at that, hear what she's got to say, period, end of discussion. All right? Because everything she said is true. 100%. Okay. Like I said, she spoke after me. She's over on Instagram hanging out. She's genuinely a decent and kind and good and caring person. Dude, she was in the Navy. She's a good person. For her to have to do that, I know that it was tough for her to have to like step up and do that. But you know what? Sometimes in life, you need to step the fuck up and not take it, but take what you gotta go and get it. You gotta fucking go and get it. You know what? If you're passionate about it, you go get it. You do what you need to do. You speak up. You know, the people, you know, you're gonna get walked on or you're gonna do something about it. So that was really cool. I wanted you to see that. It was really a strong message, you know, not too strong enough, right? Okay. So that's one side of it. Okay. She's there. People show up month after month to these meetings to try to affect change. Okay. That's the only way. Everybody says, you know, you can't do it and blah, blah, blah. No matter what you do, you can't do this sort of thing. And my voice doesn't matter or anything like that. It does. Sometimes it does. Okay. So just pay attention. So I wanted to show you that because there's a bunch of you that are hanging out now. And it was important to me that I led in the show with that because I want you to go check out what's going on there and see what you think and everything else. Like I said, make your own decisions. I'm putting it out there. That was her 3 minutes and 15 seconds. She spoke to the CRC. I wanted you to see it because I wanted to see what she's going through and everything else. Okay. So you look at that and we're going to keep moving forward the program. She spoke directly after me. Okay. Now you all know that I told you if I wasn't going to be here, I had something to talk about. I'm a New Jersey medical patient. I feel that the medical program, since I spoke today, now I can let the cat out of the bag of how I really feel about the medical program. We are just it's getting destroyed right now. There is no reason. And you know what? Let me play my thing. Okay. And also I want to play mine in entirety because I am a professional. Okay. I'm sitting here live streaming. Okay. And all that sort of thing and everything else now. And I saw people like I talk in week out about people having to go there and speak and try to convey what they're trying to convey with the stress of the situation and what's going on and that board sitting there and everything else. I'm going to play you mine from when I sat down. Now I'm like a professional speaking in front of people, live stream, whatever else. All right. You check out me. I didn't go there with a script or anything like that. I went there with a feeling of what I wanted to convey because that's how we do it. That's how I do it. So I want you to watch and just think about the stress that I was under and the stress that these people go through under. And then I'm going to play another clip at the end and we're going to move on from it. All right. So here we go. Here is what I had to say to the CRC when I showed up today. A little chat about medical and then we'll finish up at the end here. But trust me, it's going to go in. Flaxy, everybody else I see at Jersey Meds, ButaCake, Edible Cat, Carla, Beast Rod over that. That's who we're talking about is Beast Rod. All right. Just so you know, Xavier, what's going on? All right. Here's the clip.
Good afternoon, Commission. My name is Michael Wheel. I'm a New Jersey medical cannabis patient in the state of New Jersey. I also run a weekly YouTube channel, Stop Mistaking with Cannabis live program, and I've learned a lot over the course of the past few years in my research into the cannabis industry. I've been fortunate enough to travel the country and see the implications of the effects of cannabis and how it's affected the states as they've implemented it. I hear a lot about costs and everything else. I see a lot that the great work that the Commission's done, they don't get applauded enough for the work they've done to kind of control everything and everything else. Some states have ounces as low as $40 to $28 an ounce for recreational cannabis. It's in the state of Oregon. Now, I don't understand how anybody could be expected to eat in that sort of industry with that sort of profit margin at the end. So the work that they're doing in the beginning to stop that sort of thing from happening is critical to the industry. I feel that, just to speak on price for a second. Now, I just wanted to talk as a medical patient. I've seen a drastic reduction in the number of medical patients over the past year since it's come out. Since the recreational, I've seen it was, I believe, a third drop in patients since recreational sales have opened. In my discussions with many dispensary owners in the state of New Jersey, I've been to almost every dispensary in New Jersey. I have yet to find anybody to give me an answer on why you would open a medical dispensary right now. There is zero reason for you to apply to open a medically only exclusive dispensary in the state of New Jersey without drastic changes to the benefits to the patients. I see we're having programs. We need to have doctors involved at those programs to be able to issue those sorts of the patient's cards at that program. The big problem is getting to the availability of a doctor, the over cost of the doctor themselves. The commission does an excellent job of affording the availability to people to get their card, but to get the certification to get their card is where I'm seeing a lot of the blockages. Something I see to expand the medical market is to limit the introduction of edibles, certain types of edibles, to only medical patients, with drinks of certain percentages being limited to medical patients, as well as higher concentrations of medical products of certain states do a 10 milligram for rec patients, and then add to 100 milligrams for medical patients, and that to control the dosing and be more medically conscious towards that, where a lot of medical patients require a severe, a greater dosage to alleviate their symptoms, and the cost in purchasing lower dosage edibles just doesn't, it's not good for the patient at that point in time. Thank you very much, and continue on with the great work. You want to be done?
Just submit it in writing. Submit.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you very much.
Well, what do you think? Stumbling, bumbling, umming, and on, like it was my first time ever speaking to everything. I was not blown away, but I respect these people quite a bit. So to be able to sit there, and you know what, I feel that since we've been doing this for so long, I feel an obligation to portray the medical community in a positive light, and to say say the things that I felt I needed to say. Approval of manufacturer, don't use it. Yeah, absolutely. So you heard what I said. I personally feel that the medical market is crashing. It's crashing down. It's miserably. I didn't get a chance to say. There's a, I might have smoked while the clip was playing. Excuse me. 11:22. What's going on? I see you guys. You saw Mr. Barker there, Commissioner Barker, wanted a copy of my comments. The only problem is I don't have them written down. I had a couple jotted down some notes in my little notebook here, but I got to write down all we wanted to talk about. So, MSOs get to, so if this were to happen, the only MSOs get to do with such, no. We can't that's the problem. We can't put you out of business too. ButaCake's talking about it if something like that were to happen and everything else. Like, I don't know the answer. Like, I just was throwing out the possibility of a solution temporarily to hold the medical program in line. Like, I don't know. Like I said, you heard me. There is zero. Oh, there you go. There is zero reason for anybody to open a medical dispensary right now. The discussion on that I have constantly with people is what Breakwater's going to do. They're expanding to other dispos, but I mean, is that just what they're going to continue to do? But if there's no medical patients in the dispo to buy their products because they're not renewing their cards, then they're not going to have the thing. and then they're going to go rec or they're not going to go rec. I give them a lot of credit. You saw Silverleaf went rec too. Like I said, a bunch of stuff happened. They were one of the ones that I tied in last week with that whole medical thing. You see why I was all the medical dispensaries last week? Because we knew Silverleaf was turning and everything else. But it's just, I don't know the answer. I'm just out there like everybody else. We're just saying that, we're trying. Okay. So here's why I'm talking about why we go out there day in, day out, and we do what we do, trying to do better. You know what the thing is, real quick, while I don't play this last clip here while everybody's here, we'll talk about the comments because it's a live stream. That's the whole point of this thing. And we're supposed to talk about it. That is the point, not to me hammer through it like it's a fucking news show. It's a news show, I guess. But the whole point is to talk to the comments that are here, that everybody's hanging out. All right. Commissioner Barker was solid. Dude, Commissioner Barker voted no on all the renewals today for all the big guys. The 14 or 15 of them, he voted no. He was the only one to vote no. Okay. We're going to talk about him in a second. That's why we're going to slow it down here, because the last clip has to do with what the ability is to affect change. If you show up, showing up sometimes fucking matters. It really does. So the ability to affect change by showing up. Okay. And Commissioner Barker. It's crazy. So yeah. So only the MSOs get to do the so, which put her out of business. No, I figure you get to stay right in the edible, like the I don't know. See, I don't know how it would work. I don't know. I don't have an answer, but she's absolutely right. With something like that, she's saying ButaCake is saying if we did limit it like that, then it would be like to an MSO. It's tough. There's a lot of things that I didn't even get a chance to speak to the commission about. Okay. There's a lot of places that not only do they not want to open medically, but the amount that they do, I don't know if the commission's aware of what these dispensaries actually have to do to sell medical and recreational. Like there's states where, like in Maine, they're completely separate. Okay. And in Maine, there's 9 million medical and there's like 12 adult use. And that's the way they went. So it's just a different animal. But they have to change their inventory every day. And it's a whole nonsense and like a rigmarole, if you want me to use a fancy word like that. Yeah, please talk amongst yourself, ButaCake and everything else. I'd love to hear everything else. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's insane. That, all that stuff's, it's just, I don't. So yeah, let's just, I read something and I got distracted. I'm sorry. That's part of what it is, but it is what it is. So how's everybody doing? I see Toss Worldwide's over there. That's, their dispensary and everything else. But yeah, so we're talking about the MSO. We're talking about that renewal license. Like we said, there's nothing they can do about that. Like, so I want to talk like the things that people have to do to get their product across their shelf. I'm not going to go into the whole thing of what ButaCake Edibles does to get their stuff across the board. But there are people that I was speaking to today that should have known the amount you have to do to get your stuff done. And they had no idea. No idea. They were like, I'm blown away that's the amount that they have to go through to get their stuff across the finish line. And I'm like, why do you think when I told you the cost of it, why I said it should be $1 billion? Because I saw what they went through it. It's an amazing thing that they're able to pull off down there. But like she said, she's working with Columbia Care, but they're pretty much hands off, which is a great thing for her. But it's not like, it's tough because she doesn't have 1 billion fucking employees. It's crazy. So, but for somebody to throw rocks at her to be like, you're working with an no, that's not what's happening. But there's so much things to talk about with this, and that people don't know. That's why it's so important. You got to know what's going on, and that's why I don't talk about anything unless I know about it for a fact. I try not to talk about it because I don't want to spread false rumors. Because I said anything in the industry that's negative pretty much portrays a whole industry in whole in a negative light. So that's why I just kind of like to do that. But they worked really hard to get across the finish line. So it's important on things like that. And the cost was a big thing today. They're talking about costs and this and the other. And we could go on for hours and hours, but I can't. I was told tonight, you got to cut the show down. You have to. We can talk about it all night. And it's live streaming. We could, but I cannot be here. They said you cannot do it for 2 hours. So we can't. And you're all going to pop on again. So we got to move forward. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have anything they want to say? I'm going to play these last 2 clips. This is going to be a 6-minute run. Okay. This is going to be a 3-minute clip of a patient, a customer of the New Jersey market that uses that uses cannabis to help her with her medical situation. And she was in speaking today about something that's called batch sizes. They call it. Okay. And we'll get into it at the end, but it's batch testing sizes, and it has to do with the amount of cannabis while she talks about it. And I want to just briefly hit on it real quick so you kind of get a preface of what she's speaking of. Is she's talking about testing the amount of cannabis that goes there to be tested. Okay. In New Jersey, it's 100 pounds and they want it lower. Commissioner Barker at the end speaks about a 10-pound limit. I just want you to listen to what happens. Like I said, I don't know enough about it to comment what's being said. All I want to do is show it to you so you can look at it. I did cut Commissioner for all intents and purposes. I cut about 3 or 4 minutes out of Commissioner Barker and the commission talking, but it's nothing that whatever. The full video's on YouTube, but just take a look at it. It was very passionate, and I want you to see that literally sometimes just showing up is enough to affect a little bit of change. Just a little, not a lot, not all the way, but just a little bit of change if you just show up and you keep showing up. All right. So why don't you take a look at this? I'm gonna put this clip up here. I want you to take a look at this. I'm gonna start crying if I don't play it.
Hi, my name is Andrea Raible, and I'm a patient in this state. I'd like to start by saying I appreciate Jeff Brown for speaking up on HomeGrow recently, whereas patients didn't have the opportunity to speak for that. I know it's outside of your jurisdiction, but there are a lot of things within your jurisdiction that we definitely need you to take action on. You control our access, our safety, our options, and our voice. The first words in your code of ethics is to uphold the J. Koenig Compassionate Care Act, but 5 years later, we still don't have institutional access. Medicine like this can save my life as an epilepsy and brain damage patient, but it's not allowed in hospitals. You know, hospice patients don't even have access to their medicine, and they don't even have the chance to be heard today here on video testimony, even though we clearly have the capabilities. When you're talking about patient accessibility, we need advisory boards or maybe a patient's rights committee. You guys do a lot of committees. We need science-led recommendations. We need transparency. We need all of the COAs posted online. These are outdated practices we need to bring back. We shouldn't have to drive to every dispensary and ask for every product to be printed out. You guys might not regulate it differently, but RSO that legally meets requirements has butane residuals in it. That's the difference in a patient like me, where it's traditionally made with ethanol, and that's what I'm expecting. That's why I feel like my nervous system is frying out. It feels like I'm being electrocuted all the time. Even when I'm dabbing, I stick to solventless. These things matter to patients, and there are easy steps you can take to show that you even care about patients, like lifting the testing batch size. I have yeast and mold allergies. I'm also approximately 100 pounds, so I am the testing batch size for flower in New Jersey right now. While you collect half a percentage, this AA battery represents how much is actually consumed during the laboratory testing. It's not a representative sample. This was a temporary measure you guys put in to boost the industry, not as a safety practice. And it's been years. We now have 100 dispensary licenses, $2 billion industry. It's time to please make common sense changes for public health. If I was divided into eighths, 12,800 people would individually be put at risk before we even have the chance to test or do a recall. Lives are at stake here for respiratory sensitive patients, and it would be pennies on the dollar for industry to change. We have the highest batch rate in the country by far. Most, like the regulation we changed from, are around 10 pounds. Pennsylvania proves with the pricing differences that at 4 times the amount of testing clearly doesn't impact their prices. There are basic steps that patients and people need you to take for us to feel safe or for us to feel like our voices are heard. So please, I know that one's a simple vote that would take very limited amount of the council's time. Please at least consider prioritizing appropriately, because while HomeGrow isn't in your jurisdiction, you regulate the cost, the access, you regulate our hospital care, you regulate our quality of life, and you regulate our chances of survival. And I just ask that you prioritize accordingly. Thank you.
Yes. In light of what we just heard, and in light of our internal discussions, I would just like to present to the board a motion to convene internally as a board with staff, with stakeholders, but by next meeting, we have on the agenda an option to consider decreasing the testing batch sizes by next meeting.
Sorry, can you clarify the motion?
The new business would be that the board takes up the option to decrease the testing batch sizes by next meeting.
So you're asking for the.
That's why I said we would convene, we would talk with staff, we would talk with stakeholders.
So if that's for an item for a future meeting, then we can talk about that internally. But is there new business for us to consider today?
I'll speak for myself. I would make a motion. I've read the recommendations from the different NJCDA committees. As has been stated and is accurate, I do believe many other states use 10 pounds as an appropriate batch size. I do believe there are states that use a higher batch size threshold, but I would make a motion right now that we decrease it to 10 pounds.
Well, what do you think? I can't think about it. I can't think about her talking. We can't. I will lose it. I was over just kind of trying to gather myself up. That's showing up day in, day out. There was another gentleman there that spoke. He spoke on some other things. He was very passionate about what he spoke. The committee also talked about some other things, that he didn't agree with and everything else. But to see Commissioner Barker, say to do that, that's great. Now, what happened? Well, as you know, all right, it needed to be seconded. It was seconded. Okay, so they could talk about it. That's what needs to be happened. All right. But the problem is, nobody's gonna kick something through like this just right through. I applaud Commissioner Barker for trying to push this through, but there's too many cogs, there's too many moving parts in this thing. I'll say what everybody else would want to say or whatever else. Batch size, it matters if you're a grower and you have to give 10 pounds versus 100 pounds versus more. There were some people on the commission saying that maybe it should be more. I asked a couple of people that are in the know in the industry if there was any reason whatsoever to ever increase the batch size past 100 pounds and was told no, 100 pounds is out of control. What they're talking about in Maryland and everything else is that has already been decreased back since whatever. But it affects growers. Come on, if you're a small grower, to have to put 100 pounds to testing versus 10 pounds is a serious number. It's a serious number. So I don't know anything about it past that. I just know that the feasibility of doing that, and it doesn't exclude a lot of smaller growers. It makes it harder for smaller growers to come on to have to eat that. Like, they don't get paid for that, from what I understand. Like I say, I'm very hesitant to say facts. I hate to be like that, but the whole system seems like it's so fluid that You know, I don't ever want to like, not that like I think I'm wrong per se. It's just that sometimes it seems that one hand doesn't know necessarily what the other's doing. Like, so it's tough to for me to say for fact, because when you start dropping facts on this sort of stuff, people get in trouble. And I don't like to do that. I just kind of like to, you know, if I'll do the research, but this was dropped in my lap. Like I said, I didn't. The show is very fluid, right? I didn't plan on this, and they pay out for that to the testing lab. They have to pay the lab. But do they get paid for the samples they have to provide? See, that's what I would be known, because if I got to kick out 100 pounds of my product for testing on top of whatever else, and there's a couple growers I've seen stuff popping on there, Rye and everybody else and over there. But I just want you to think about, but just think about as a growing standpoint. Forget about the fact that you got to pay or not pay. If they supply it, you're pulling 100 pounds out of your fucking harvest. Like, that's 100 pounds of flour. So they don't pay, they don't get paid. They got to cover the shipping. The shipping's not easy and everything else. Okay, so all right, it seems like more and more we're all in agreement that the batch size is to be lower. Okay, and then you don't even want to talk about this testing standards if you're only pulling out of, and what they're talking about is, let's use breakwater for example. Okay, perfect example. And I remember Dave Matthews used this as a thing with COVID and M&Ms in a bowl. But this is like a perfect example. All right, the odds of me pulling a bad one out of here are a lot lower if this thing's full, right? If this thing's full of 60 or 70 or 100, you know, but all of a sudden the odds are a little bit higher if you fuck something up that I get it, right? That's the science behind it. Forget about everything else. Let's just look at the science behind it. That's just the facts. Like, the odds of something slipping through, not that they're deliberately slipping anything through or anything like that, just as the odds of something happening with a batch size as big as that. Like, I'll look into it. Like I said, I try to get everywhere, man, across the country, you know, but from what I heard, there ain't nothing higher than 25, which, you know, it's a shipping, car, 2 bodies, insurance, gas, tolls to get it to the testing lab. So that's just something that I think is really, really an interesting thing. You know, it's, I didn't think about it. And you know what's something I didn't think about too? And it never even crossed my mind just while we're sitting here shooting the shit in the end of the show here, because we're getting, and you know, I'm not even gonna say, forget it. I'm not even gonna say it because I don't want to jinx it. Forget it. Anyway, everybody's cool? Everybody understands what's going on? Is everybody being informed? That's what it's about. Because when I see things that are happening that are like, people in the community should know about, like, it's like I said, that I let the show's going to go where it's going to go. And, you know, we're just going to be the dispensary guy, and we're going to let her eat, and whatever happens, happens. And that's why I said, you know, if you see some stuff across the line and everything else, you know, like I said, we do have to fund this thing somehow, some way. Okay. So we're trying to do that in such a way. So, you know, your support's always grateful. You're going to see stuff going out and everything else. But while we're talking about that, you know, what I did last year out of my own pocket, which was thousands and thousands of dollars it cost me out of my own pocket to put on the first annual 2023 New Jersey Dispensary Awards. This year we have the 2024. Oh, shoot. It's actually wrong now because they are, hold on. We got to do this. They are now, what is the thing? Open the second annual New Jersey Dispensary Award Show. All right. So the deal is, the link is up on Instagram. It doesn't allow you to link stuff. My actual website is coming. We are working as hard as we can to get it up and running. Okay. I'm sorry. when we've got all this shit going on, and once a week we're doing this live and everything else, I got to pick priorities. Okay. So while it'll be on the website, and if I have to extend the nomination period a little bit longer and everything else, we'll do that. And that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But the link is on the it's on the Facebook. God, do I sound old? It's on Facebook. It's on all the socials. It's on Instagram. Instagram doesn't let you tag it directly. Okay. So you got to go through the link and everything else. But go through. There enough of you have voted now. A lot of you have voted. It's really cool. Everybody's voting, and a lot of you are like, really, dude, following the thing, like put in one for this and one for that, and I can start to see trends already forming and things. Like, it's awesome. It's really cool, and really cool that I'm seeing like bud tenders names, like common bud tenders names, which is really fucking cool because this is across the state. This is just, you see, I didn't lead anything in. I said, do whatever you want. And I'm already seeing it across the board, which is fucking spectacular because I always said bud tenders make it. You saw us hanging out with the union today, and we're shooting shit and talking with Jake and everybody else, and the UCFW 360 and 152, doing good work. But yeah, bud tenders. Okay. Edible companies, best edible, best new product, best edible, this rod, but I'm seeing a lot of stuff come out. We got best concentrate. I'm going to add, I take the liberty 100%. Those are not all the categories. I will tell you that right now. Those are the categories I needed help with. The categories that I don't need help with, that we can just put out there, we're going to put out there. When we say we're going to pick the best of for the state of New Jersey. If it's a wide open category, I didn't put the thing up there like that. I wanted to get the gist of some and everything else. I wanted to narrow it down because, I don't want it to be, 800 votes, 20 votes for every dispensary. That'd be stupid. You know what I mean? But certain things that you can go and you can vote on overall, there's going to be extra categories added on. People that make differences in the industry and stuff like that. Things we see, and I'm going to give awards out just because I feel like giving them out myself, just because that's what we do, to recognize people in the industry that do good and work hard. That's the way it is, man. And that's what it is. Nothing past that. There's no fucking prize money to be had. I mean, are we going to sponsor it? Sure. We're looking to sponsor it. Absolutely. It's me, WJ Media, and I'm sure there'd be a couple people coming on and everything else. But I don't have anything planned past me in the chair. So it'll be us. It'll be the normal thing we do. We're going to hang out. We're going to be real. We're going to talk about the bud tenders. We're going to talk about the dispensaries that have opened, the dispensaries that have closed. Best closed dispensary. No, I'm not best closed dispensary. But I mean, a lot has changed in 1 year. Like I said, we did it last year. There was 37 dispensaries. Max at Urban was 37 open. 106 with cannabis. I had it written down. Anyway, cannabis clubhouse just opened, right? We said that. Yes, Saturday. Yes, we will see you on Saturday. Absolutely. We will. Matt's asking about Saturday. So check it out. It's meant to be like really, really lighthearted. Really lighthearted. Like not too fucking serious. But in the same token, you saw us. I'm like here now. I'm going to start crying because I'm thinking about that girl crying. You see how serious we get at times, right? So while it's fun and everything else, I'm going to get all. We like to do that. What are we talking about? We're going to go over our week here coming up. What we got going on? ButaCake's asking what's going on Saturday. On Saturday, NJ Leaf is having their 1 year anniversary party, I believe, Matt. Or no, excuse me, it's not NJ Leaf. Saturday is high profiles. If I don't look down at it, we won't have it. Saturday is high profiles opening at. I will be there. Oh, I have the big board. Hold on. Yo, check it. We're actually kind of here. I have it here. NJ Leaf, right? NJ Leaf is then and it's also high profile, dude. See? So I'm going to try to be high profile at 3, and I also might slide by NJ Leaf. I'm not going to be at any of them. You know what I mean? But we're going to be everywhere. So like I said, we try to be everywhere all the time, you know. We got to go meet and hang out. That's the only way it works, man, is to know what's going on. Like, how do I know what it takes to put product from medical to recreation to medical when the intake? Because we sit and talk about that shit at these things. You know, it ain't all just sitting around smoking dope. All right. But it's serious too. So that's on Saturday. Matt was bringing that up. One of our law. Matt, I will see you. Yeah, right. Which one? Both? All? Some? What else we have Friday? We have another opening. I have my list here. Hold on. Should I just hold it up for you guys and completely break the wall? We got some stuff going on. We got. I'll do it like this, right? Thanks again to HeadyNJ. We mentioned the awards show. Jersey Meds opened. We saw them hanging out. Castaway Cannabis also opened. I'm looking for some other stuff still coming from them. I haven't seen it yet. But I'm looking forward to some stuff from them. On Friday, it looks like the Golden Door is going to be opening up. That's going to be on the 15th. I don't have their address here. I just saw it coming across. And then on the 16th, I know NJ Leaf's having her year anniversary party, and High Profile's having their grand opening party. You know what I mean? So they're doing a thing there. We talked about ButaCake and everything else because you're on the list. We talked about MonteVerde. MonteVerde, right? MonteVerde? Is it Monte? I don't know. Anyway, we talked about that. And then we talked about the CRC meeting. And it's 58 minutes and 27 seconds. How about that? We did it. Under an hour. Wow. You opened on Women's Day, March 8th. Jersey Meds. Dolly, I'm sorry, but your name is there. Women's Day, March 8th. Yeah, right? Yeah, March 8th, Jersey Meds. Absolutely. You guys opened up. I see you guys over there. They opened. Everybody was partying, and then doing that. Yes, Jersey Meds is now open. Yes, we see that. So, yeah. Next week. Let's talk about next week. What do we have going on next week? Next week, 13th, 20th. The 20th. We're a month away from 420 next week. What are we going to be talking about? You're going to have to tune in. You know, it's just, we'll see what happens. All right. That's it. The CRC, please stay informed. Like I said, I showed you the clips out of order. It was kind of whatever. You heard me giving praises CRC. You heard Lemon 22. You guys are open too, and that's a 22 quarter. I didn't even get a chance to talk about that. That was something else that I was talking about when I talk about this medical thing, and I talk about all that sort of stuff. We talked about Silver Leaf opening and everything else, and then we talk about, you know, that classic run. We're talking about Sanctuary, A21, and now it's Lemon 22 across the street, which is fine because they're across the street. And we said that doesn't affect anything. But that's that whole run up there, you know, where Sanctuary is now, it's rec. So it's rec. And down the street, it's another rec. But they're down the street far enough. But that's what I said. We like to cover them all. But the way I showed you, they popped up, and I just wanted to talk about them. We're going to try to stay on track here. But what I was going to say to finish up the program tonight. Thanks for watching. As always, like and subscribe, do all that sort of stuff. But what I was going to say was the CRC. You saw the way. We'll finish this. We're going to keep talking for a minute here. Ripped. Garden State of Mind. I'll be 419. I'll be up at Ripped at Puff and Candle too. By the way, check that out. That should be pretty interesting. You saw I did the Puff and Paint. She's permanent now up there. God, we're getting good at reaching, huh? How about that? I saw Jalen today. He saw me obviously, but I saw hashtag Team Jalen. Fourth wall break. But so I talk a lot about the CRC, and I talk a lot about how if everybody's mad at them and everybody's okay with them, then they're doing a good job, right? Well, I think today was a prime example of I went up and said something nice and then said something bad about the medical. And then, we were fine. And then Dr. Brevard-Rodriguez came up and she said her piece. But, things happen, things move. They need to be there. Trust me. The option, if they weren't there, would be catastrophic. Blue Oak, what's going on? How you guys doing today? You don't want to see it, like I said at the meeting, okay? In Oregon, just for poking around because they were comparing prices, and like I said, I can pull all the prices out right now. We do it all the time. You want prices out? Where do you want them from? I'll pull them up from DC, Massachusetts. I got menus, from all these places we go and visit, and we compare all the prices. And real quick, I brought up the biggest and the baddest one to make the comparison that I knew would be factual, as I brought up the menu from a shop that I was in Oregon, and I punched it up, and it was $40 zips, $28 zips for 26% THC cannabis, and you're paying $28 an ounce. Okay, without significant oversight and stuff like that, things can happen. Things can go off the rails quickly. So, like I said, I'm not getting paid by the CRC or anything like that. But as much as I love to slam a government like the next person, hard, they're trying. Okay, so it was a what did I say? It was a good day. It was a good day. More could have been done, but it was a good day. We opened some eyes, is the way I looked at it when I left the meeting. That some people were able to, like I said, Commissioner Barker, for myself and a few other the speakers, he was insisting to make sure that we include our comments so he can look through it. And I know a lot of people are always like, he's all talk and everything. Well, you know what? Sometimes, like I said, you show up and you talk enough and you beat heads enough, eventually, you can affect a little bit of change, so at least, we have some sort of oversight into the whole cannabis market and everything else. I would like to see more done on the medical side, but that's a whole nother 2-hour show we can do. But I said tonight, we're going to keep it in an hour. We gotta lock it. We gotta keep this thing locked down. Okay. As much fun as it is to talk for 2 hours and everything else. We lose our focus and everything else. It was a defined focus, and I feel it's going to work a little bit better like this. So I was going to go out and do some visiting, like I said, and hit a bunch of shops on the way back and load this thing down. Now we were going to go into the microscope and we were going to open a bunch of stuff. And I said, we're not going to do that anymore. Dad, what's up, buddy? How you doing? But we're not going to do that today. We're not going to do that this week. We don't need to do that. Okay. We went, like I told you, if we need to do it, we did it. That's what we did. So let's just go over the notes real quick before we wrap up. I was going to sit and eat Girl Scout cookies too. Make sure you support your local Girl Scout troop or wherever they are. I'm not allowed to set up the thing that I want to do with my daughter, but go support your Girl Scouts and everything else. Do we have anything else? Does anybody else anything they want to say or do? I see everybody's in here hanging out. It's awesome. Everybody still wants more growers, obviously. They're coming online. You saw a bunch of approvals and everything else. You saw approvals for Nova, which I saw them. They're a pretty decent grower. Like I said, up in Massachusetts, there's a little circle in there, draw cut and everything else, where it's really dense with shops that I like to stop in every once in a while. I use it as a base to see kind of what's going on with everything else. There's a couple of ryes up there and some other stuff. And on the way in and out, there's a bunch of shops you could check out. And the flower up there is it's really good. So I'm interested to see how it goes, how it comes down and everything else as their grow gets online and everything else. I still want to know how they're getting seats here. We didn't even talk about interstate commerce and all that sort of stuff. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff we can still keep talking about, but there's no point. We can't. Roots, like I said, Roots Dispensary and Silverleaf. If you wanted to just look at something to base the whole med rec thing and everything else and what I'm talking about, I hate to call you out, Roots, and I'm not trying to isolate your dispensary. I'm just using you as an example. Why don't you look at the time difference between when Roots came online as a medical place switched to adult use and when Silverleaf came online and when he switched to adult use. I don't know whether that's because of the person themselves or anything like that. It's just an interesting thing to see. I know a lot of places that came online, medical, that wanted to go adult use a lot faster for fact that didn't. I know he didn't necessarily, that shop necessarily, Silverleaf didn't break down the door to go adult use. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know that for a fact. I can't say. But that's just an interesting thing to see. Like I said, where the medical market is going when you see things like that happen, certain shops a day from medical to rec. So, like I said, I challenge you. I will leave you with this. I challenge you, as anybody watching this show, to give me, I'd settle for one good reason to open a medical cannabis dispensary only new in the state of New Jersey. As a business owner or somebody starting a business, I'd want more than one. I'd want at least 3 before I'm even going to have a conversation, right? But Ginseng, what's up? How you doing? But I'd settle for one. I'm not a big comment down below guy, but I'm going to do one. I will settle for it because I'm very interested to know. Does anybody out there think would you move into the New Jersey market, knowing what you know from whatever else, and open a medical only cannabis dispensary the way the market sits right now? Because if that answer is no across the board, period, then it's going to be fucking breakwater. And that's it. Right? Is there anybody else? There's no one else. So I'm going to leave you with that. Okay? I hate to get a little heavy, but I'm going to leave you a little heavy at the end. I dare you. Think about it. Okay? Unless something changes. That's it. The medical program dropped almost 5,000 patients between when the article from last month to when, because there was quoted in an article at around 8,600 to this month where they quoted it just over 8,100 patients or 81,000 patients. Okay. It was 86,000 patients last month. It was just over 81,151 or 81,141. So that's a 5,000 or 4,000 patient drop in a month. And it's dropped a third since rec started. I don't see any fucking end in sight. But that's it. I hate to leave you like that, but thanks for watching. That's what we were talking about this week because I'm a medical cannabis patient, and that's how this whole thing started, and it's important to me. So that's it. Like and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up. If you're interested, I guess I should have said or whatever. If you're interested in getting involved in the awards and everything else and whatever else, I guess we should put together a leaflet or something else and put I'm going to be driving through and seeing everybody every way. So over the next couple of weeks. So just pay attention. There's like I said, I've almost been to them all, but you guys got approved in I'm behind a couple of shops. I'm about 6 or 7 shops behind. I know some guys you're like, I know Ginseng. I haven't seen you guys yet either. 1634, up north, Blue Oak, all them. I see all you guys. I see everybody. I do. I really do. I really do. It's just there's only so many hours in a day. So, and Jersey Meds too. Absolutely. I'll see you soon. I was gonna come to you today, but again, not enough hours in the day. It's more important that we were here. We were doing this, and we're doing that. So I left you with that. I hate to get all heavy, but we needed to say it, right? So it's 16 you. Last week I wanted to say there was at one point in time, because I was checking back, there was over 40 of you. 40 of you. 40 live viewers on this stream last week. It was insane. It was insane. Very quiet. Everybody likes to creep. And I said that's fine. Come creep. Hang out. Get what you want out of it. Because, if you got something to add it. But I don't expect a lot of people to talk because of what it is. That's why I started doing it. Because people don't want to talk about it because of the stigma. So, to see 40 people hanging out on a Wednesday night at 10:30 at night, watching a show about cannabis was really it made me feel really humbled. I felt humbled, honestly, and it's just like the amount of people that are hanging out now is way more than it used to be, and I anticipating it bigger. And as it gets bigger, we can do a lot more. So that's why you're going to see the show. It'll break a little bit more when I try to read the chat and everything else, but when we add in a producer, hopefully soon, it'll get different. Thank you so much. Jersey Meds is great. We see you over there. Lemon 22, Ginseng, and all you guys for hanging out. Blue Oak, and everybody that stopped by and said hello to us. ButaCake. Xavier's going to open so soon. Taste the Earth, doing great things in the community before he's gotten the doors open. Pay attention to that sort of thing. All right? Do that sort of thing. All right. Remember, attend your CRC meeting. Somebody asked me today whether or not you can go to the CRC meeting. It is a public meeting open to everyone. All you have to do to apply to speak is let them know beforehand. That is just so they can allot enough time and area. Trust me, if 1,000 people wrote down to speak, we would all have to get lined up to speak. They would have to make arrangements for us to speak versus a camera. It happens sometimes. They'll put everybody in a high school gym and set up a remote feed. But if you want to speak, put your name down. You get 3 minutes. Okay? Don't go up there and try to toot your own, sell your business, because it doesn't come off well. I'm not saying anybody did it today or anybody's done it lately, but don't just go up there and try to pitch your shit, because it's a bad look for everybody. All right? But anybody can do it. Matt, you say a 12-hour meeting. I've been to local council meetings that have gone 3 or 4 meetings worth. When you add it all up, 20, 40 hours worth of meetings in my local towns and stuff over variances and shit like that and zoning. Okay. It can do that, but there are rules in place that, as much as we like to say that, nobody listens, they kind of got to listen sometimes. They put the rules there, like Commissioner Barker bringing up this thing today and the Robert's rules, and I'm sitting there screaming in my head about the certain way to approach certain things in a meeting format to say certain things to you know what I mean? I don't know. Anyway, now see, we're rambling. That's what we don't want to do. But thank you. That's it. But Hetty, thanks for the quote, the shout out. That was awesome. Go check out his thing over there, Cannabis Clubhouse, and a Dank Poet article. Check that out again. Rip Dispensary and Garden State of Mind are going to do another puffin candle on the 19th, the day before 420. That'll be cool. We'll go check that out. That's it. Nominations are open for the Dispensary Awards. It's a Google form. Go fill it out. Put in your stuff. We'll knock it down. We'll add in some categories. We'll change it up. And we'll do it from there. All right. Thanks so much for watching. I could keep going, but we're not going to. We're just going to cut it off. And if we need to add in a show Friday, we might have to. I don't know. No show Friday. I have my little girl this weekend, all weekend. Her mother is doing a bunch of stuff. So I have my little one all weekend long. So very cool. She will be whatever. My deal. But I'll see you guys out and about. All right. But no show Friday night. Okay. I can assure you of that. But thanks for watching again. I would love to play that clip again with that, but I can't because I'll cry if I play that. But you know what? Yeah, you know what? Because I can, I'm gonna play it one more time. All right. I want you to watch this on the way out again because you know why? Because I can. I'm gonna play this and then you guys will go out and whatever else. But we're done. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, the whole 9 yards, and everything else. And I want you to just listen to. I hate to put her on the spot again, but you know what? It meant so much for her to step up, and you'll see how hard it was for her to do what she did. So I think it deserves recognition. It does. Like I said, I can do whatever I want. It's my channel, right? Thanks for watching, everybody. And here you go.
Hi, my name is Andrea Raible, and I'm a patient in this state. I'd like to start by saying I appreciate Jeff Brown for speaking up on HomeGrow recently, whereas patients didn't have the opportunity to speak for that. I know it's outside of your jurisdiction, but there are a lot of things within your jurisdiction that we definitely need you to take action on. You control our access, our safety, our options, and our voice. The first words in your code of ethics is to uphold the J. Koenig Compassionate Care Act, but 5 years later, we still don't have institutional access. Medicine like this can save my life as an epilepsy and brain damage patient, but it's not allowed in hospitals. You know, hospice patients don't even have access to their medicine, and they don't even have the chance to be heard today here on video testimony, even though we clearly have the capabilities. When you're talking about patient accessibility, we need advisory boards or maybe a patient's rights committee. You guys do a lot of committees. We need science-led recommendations. We need transparency. We need all of the COAs posted online. These are outdated practices we need to bring back. We shouldn't have to drive to every dispensary and ask for every product to be printed out. You guys might not regulate it differently, but RSO that legally meets requirements has butane residuals in it. That's the difference in a patient like me, where it's traditionally made with ethanol, and that's what I'm expecting. That's why I feel like my nervous system is frying out. It feels like I'm being electrocuted all the time. Even when I'm dabbing, I stick to solventless. These things matter to patients, and there are easy steps you can take to show that you even care about patients, like lifting the testing batch size. I have yeast and mold allergies. I'm also approximately 100 pounds, so I am the testing batch size for flour in New Jersey right now. While you collect half a percentage, this AA battery represents how much is actually consumed during the laboratory testing. It's not a representative sample. This was a temporary measure you guys put in to boost the industry, not as a safety practice. And it's been years. We now have 100 dispensary licenses, $2 billion industry. It's time to please make common sense changes for public health. If I was divided into eighths, 12,800 people would individually be put at risk before we even have the chance to test or do a recall. Lives are at stake here for respiratory sensitive patients, and it would be pennies on the dollar for industry to change. We have the highest batch rate in the country by far. Most, like the regulation we changed from, are around 10 pounds. Pennsylvania proves with the pricing differences that at 4 times the amount of testing clearly doesn't impact their prices. There are basic steps that patients and people need you to take for us to feel safe or for us to feel like our voices are heard. So please, I know that one's a simple vote that would take very limited amount of the council's time. Please at least consider prioritizing appropriately, because while HomeGrow isn't in your jurisdiction, you regulate the cost, the access, you regulate our hospital care, you regulate our quality of life, and you regulate our chances of survival. And I just ask that you prioritize accordingly. Thank you.
I'll tell you what, man, people like that out there affecting change and just absolutely getting it done. Thanks for watching. Dispensary Guy, everywhere, all the time. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you.
You'll see the difference now. If we change it, you'll know how. Nothing ever stays the same.
That's it. It's over.